When the world was flat and the nights were dark, people sang songs and told stories. One such tale concerns our subject, the mountain Kada Idris. It is said that if you spend the night on the summit, you will awake a poet or a madman, a blind man or dead. But Idris is also the seat of a giant, an ancient hunting ground, and the home of a water dragon. So the chances are you would not be alone. Even now, when the world is small and round, the woods still have ears, and the poetry of the earth is never asleep. The earth delights to feel your feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Many years ago, Llyn Barfog was home to the Avanc. The Avanc was a fierce water dragon, and though she stood not much taller than a man, no man had ever been able to slay her, for she was quick and cunning. All the villagers that lived nearby spent each night in restless wakefulness, for when the thick mists reached out across the water, the Avanc would rise out of the lake and move silently through the streets, looking for the youngest child, whom she would snatch from sleep and devour, so that many mornings would be signalled by the sound of weeping mothers. It was around this time that King Arthur rode through the village. Upon hearing of the Avanc, he commanded the village blacksmith to forge a heavy iron chain, one that would stretch as far as the eye could see. Soon it was made. Wading into the water, Arthur cast the chain into the depths. He dragged the beast from the lake and plunged his sword deep into its heart. The Avanc writhed in pain. "I shall not die," she said. "Every life I take is a life I live. After these hundreds of years, 1,000 deaths would not kill me." With this, Arthur drove the blade into the Avanc's skull to keep her jaw from opening, and dragged her away by her neck. He hauled the Avanc across many miles to the base of Kada Idris. Through tangled woods, Arthur dragged the creature, and up the mountain's steep slopes. Across windswept plains, through rain and hail, he dragged the Avanc, its chains scraping along the rocky floor. The Avanc screamed and squealed, writhed and struggled, but tightening his grip, Arthur hauled the Avanc further and further up the mountainside until at last he reached the craggy rim of the bottomless lake of Llyn Cow. There he took the free end of the chain and tied it to a large boulder that stood above the water's brink. Then, with a push, the boulder started to roll down and down towards the water, plunging at last into the depths of the lake, dragging the Avank down with it, the iron links of the mighty chain clattering and rattling endlessly after. Soon, her blue glow was lost to the infinite darkness of the abyss. And the children of the village were safe to sleep once more. Some say that when it rains, her screams can still be heard. Others say that the water glows blue at night. And there are those who remind us that the chain was so long that even now, after these hundreds of years, it would be folly to linger too close to the water's edge. Kada Idris, the seat of Idris. This was once the home of a giant who, with his pack of vicious hounds, made this land his hunting ground. The giant fell in battle, slain by the king of Northumbria. But legend has it that his hunting dogs were never found. These dogs were as large as horses and the deepest shade of black. On the mountain's rocky crags, dark shapes dart between the cover, watching, waiting. It is said they set upon travellers lost in the hills, sweeping across ridges, spectral forms of eyes and teeth. A terrible howling, their only herald. Here, on the mountain, always the rain lurks behind life. Hurts like grievance hurts. A perfect curtain to cover the dirt. Here on the mountain, always the fire hides behind shadows that call red to you in the dead of night, that howls shrouded by cloud. Here on the mountain, always the wind shifts thoughts to crumble. Memories spiral into half-real dreams. And fear is what sits to feed. Here on the mountain, always